I'm Sir TapTap, and welcome to Let's Play Volume by Mike Bithell, a review copy of this game is provided by the developer. This is a stealthy game, apparently inspired by Metal Gear Solid, unsurprisingly. So, this game exists within these simulations of a bunch of houses and stuff that you're going to rob. This one's a little glitchy. The glitchy ones are fun, though they're pretty rare. We just got saw. That's bad. The voice acting in this game is pretty good. The main villain's actually voiced by Andy Serkis. Dog. Crap. You can quick restart. So dogs are. We're starting sort of in the middle of the game. So we see some enemies that you won't see until a little bit later on. The dogs have very wide fields of vision. There's some pretty good dry humor in this game. It's a very, very British game.
Not sure how that works, but I'll go with it.
Some crap. One interesting thing, checkpoints are fairly exploitable in this game. You can actually get an item, run past a checkpoint, respawn, and like if enemies are chasing you, and then you respawn at the checkpoint, enemies won't be chasing you, but you have, you know, whatever you've got. Little exploitable, but honestly stealth games are not about realism, they're about fun, and they're, you know, it's all about exploiting what you can. So I really don't have a problem with that. So the way this game works is that we're in these little simulations of real locations, and go away, dog. They're all very short levels. Every level is exactly the same size as this in terms of square footage. Some of them are longer and shorter depending on how difficult they are. Oh crap. Interesting, now we're doing. Oh, maybe not. Interesting feature of the enemy's AI is they need to take a second to shoot, and you know, that's when their little indicator on their head is red. And if you can put something in between you and them, they will reset to yellow, and so you can sort of cheese them out and they won't be able to fire at you.
It's being broadcast on all governmental feeds. And it's playing on what's left of the non-governmental feeds too.
I was particularly saddened to hear today of a child with a camera who, instead of contributing to his country, has decided to do it damage. In the weeks, months, and years after the revolution, while we were working together...
One sort of annoying thing about the story, it'll repeat like this.
While we were working to put this country back together, rebuilding it into something solid, something safe from the sins of our past, did we stop to steal from one another? Did we selfishly plot to hurt others for our own gain? The world is hard. The challenges ahead of us are real and dangerous. There are no shortcuts, no matter what the idle or weak-willed may tell you. This boy will be found. He will be stopped, and we will continue to work.
Oops, I forgot that pauses that. Like, a lot of stuff pauses the dialogue, and then they'll repeat from the last thing. It's a little annoying. Also, the dialogue only plays the first time you go through a level, so I actually had to save a backup level, or a backup save, at the level I wanted to start showing you guys from. So, slightly annoying. There's a reset story progress, but that actually resets the level progress, not just the,
This boy
story dialogue.
found. He will be stopped, and we will continue to work to build the England our grandfathers dreamed of. The England our grandsons will thank us for.
Also, if you end a level early, he'll keep
I
talking
look forward
in the
to
next
sharing better
episode,
news on this matter
so just let him finish.
in the hours to come.
We have a fan.
A powerful one.
Yeah, he's a glorified businessman. A suit who decided that he could do the job of running England better than anyone else.
Yes, but he has guns. Those awesome guns I was talking about earlier.
So yeah, the story is basically a, well, ultra-modern Robin Hood story where big bad suits have captured England, basically, and concentrated all the wealth, and what we're doing,
That has got to be worth
ah crap, is we're simulating stealing from real locations and broadcasting it like a live stream to a bunch of real people who can then go and steal all this stuff. Ah crap. And of course there are some levels like this one that really don't make real attempts to appear like a real place, but they're just sort of fun. So the level design is never too constrained by the story, which is a strength in my opinion.
I am good.
So this one, oh right, do we see the text? It's obviously a little Pac-Man-y sort of thing. Ah, crap. Thank you. Yeah. The guards are very limited in terms of intelligence, and the difficulty is mostly through what tools the game gives you in any given level, what alerts there are. You have tools, I don't think we've gotten to use one yet, but it takes them away from you every end of every level. So every level is very carefully designed with whatever tools it gives you. There's still some fairly heavily exploitable stuff, like the checkpoints that I mentioned earlier. Alright, the Oud. This is our first tool, I guess. Or no, we had the mute. I couldn't talk during that level. And the mute lets you step on like alarm panels but not actually make any sound. This thing is like remote detonated sound. There's no damaging weapons in this game. So we have to distract people, or there is a weapon that will stun people. Fairly rare. Yeah, there's little bits of story here and there, like lore stuff, in all the levels. And there's a lot of... like, this is actually backstory for the AI. They're talking about what they want to name the AI. The one we're talking to is Alan, who's actually a very old AI. They get some pot shots in at Alan because of this. So the objective of every single level is just get all of the diamonds and get to the exit. On rare occasion there won't be any diamonds, you just have to get to the exit. And so... oh, even if you don't have equipment, you can whistle and sort of draw people to your attention, or to your position. Now that we have the Oud, we can escape this area. There's quite a few different tools, and we're probably not going to see all of them in this video. Actually, we're pretty much definitely not. The last one is quite a bit of ways from this level, actually. So we actually think we can just barely reach it. But what we want to do is get these jerks away from the gem. Aw, crap. Needed the other one to go too. That's not gonna work.
Camera's on.
Oh, duh. Come on. Slight annoyance is that sometimes you have to wait quite a while after dying or something to reuse your gadget. Death resets the gadget's cooldown. Some of them have fairly long cooldowns. Didn't really need to come this way. The Oud has pretty good audio range, so you can hit it from quite a range away. Maybe 1 second here. I'm doing new recording. Well, I've got new recording hardware, actually. Just want to make sure it's not going completely insane. Alright, all is well. My new recording software, like, it's Its estimate for the game audio levels are like... It looks like the sound is clipping, but it definitely isn't, so I'm not really sure what its problem is there. Oops. So get them both to come at the same time. Alright, this video should actually be in 60 frames per second, so the keep talking video should be too. But I finally got a 60 frames per second capture card. Well, a 1080p 60 frames per second capture card. I could do 720p 60 FPS with the last one. Not really very useful for my purposes. I also finally got editing software that supports 60 frames per second, so everything is nice and fluid now. I'll just give you a second to read those. They're not always super interesting. There's some amusing jokes or lore in them sometimes. Need to use the OUD. As you might expect, the game does a pretty good job of giving you, like, metering out the new gameplay mechanics. You'll be finding new gameplay stuff through pretty much the entire game. And, oops, that's not good. Ah, crap. They won't fall for your tricks. Are you kidding me? Aw, that was so... He didn't look in the corner. I thought I was safe. That would have been hilarious. Sometimes they'll do that. They'll just, like, not quite look in your corner. Because they have that... you might have noticed, but that cone is their field of vision. And... they'll do some fairly silly stuff, like ignoring you, like, because you're immediately to their side or something. That, you know... Most stealth games might not quite do that. What? Oh, right. If they can't find you in levels with alarms, they'll set off the alarm, and then everybody will sort of race at that point. I don't really have a good plot for getting out of here, actually. I need that dog out of the way for the most part. Excuse you. Oh, I know. Ugh. This is one of those times where recharging that thing gets a little bit annoying. I need to put him over here. Ah, crap. We'll disable the alarms at least. There we go. One benefit of the OUD is that you can sort of... You can place one, let it recharge, and then you can fire another one pretty much immediately. Also, we can hide in these closets. We don't really need to in this level. Sometimes you definitely will need to. The game does a good job showing off each new mechanic. Like, there'll be a level where you absolutely have to interact with a new, you know, danger or new tool. And then it'll show you some more advanced uses of it, and then it'll chill out a bit and let you use other stuff. Also, it doesn't matter if you're seen... As long as you get to the exit, it doesn't really matter how many times you've been seen, or if you're being chased when you hit the exit.
Not a great deal. Not a great deal. Gisborne's PR department are projecting calm professionalism in the hunt for a pesky child. There have been a number of robberies against the targets you've shown. Reaction times are getting shorter.
Ah, shit. These little panels make sounds, so...
There have been a number of robberies against the target. There have been a number of robberies against the targets you've shown. Reaction times are getting shorter as the audience grows. Are targets wrong? They all deserve to be wrong, right?
Describe the men and women who you have on file. The people Gisborne saw fit to train his guards to protect.
Well, allies from early in Gisborne Industries' history.
Fuck. See, all the simulations are... They're actually supposed to be simulations for guards that protect Gisborne's buddies. And somebody's supposed to follow our lead, which... Good luck. Oh.
Rich, evil bastard.
That's right, yeah.
Then yes, they all deserve to lose what they stole. Gisborne tells the people that his three estates are a fair division. The richest protect and should be honoured. Money is the division he chose. I aim to address that.
And the innocents?
The only innocents in this country are the people hungry enough to copy these recordings. And I'm showing them how to do this without hurting anyone.
Yeah, it must be nice to see the world so black and white.
Well, that's the one of us who's actually...
So the robot, or the AI, isn't exactly our ally, but he sort of comes over to our side.
Well, as the one of us who's actually seen the world in the last 9 years, I think it'd be best to stick to my interpretation, yeah?
Before you reset me and gave me access to the net, I was as certain as you are now, and all it took was a chat with, what, a paperclip or something? My reset button's tricky to get to.
I used a pen.
Mighty and swords.
We're doing good work, Alan.
I think we are. Yes. We just need to be careful.
You can't use a pen to get to a reset button. They're always way too tiny. You need one of those mechanical pencils that like lets you pull out the lead really far, or just, you know, paperclip.
I think we are. Yes.
I question the accuracy of your pen reset. There's obviously some trick here. Oh, actually... It's funny how really just a single column to hide behind is all you really need to trick a guard. Because they walk pretty slow, and they'll just go around one side and you can just sneak around the other. This is sort of a fun, tense little level, because you just have to stay the right distance from the enemies. There's always a visual cue of how far the sound travels. It's like it doesn't matter that these sounds are fairly loud, like as long as they can't, like as long as the visual indicator. Oh crap, that was not how to do that. You can get them both to come around the same side. I promise you can. Ah, there we go. You can actually make this a bit easier by going up to get that mute first. It's not actually that hard to just trail behind them though. Also, the game has the little voice clips when you pick up crap, but it meters them out pretty rarely, so it never gets too annoying in my opinion. So now we have the mute, we can just rush past this guy as soon as we get charged. The mute's quite fun. It lets you move faster in addition to walking over the thingies. So sometimes it can be useful purely for the speed boost. Ah, right. Here's one of those times we're gonna need uh-oh. Might have been too slow. Not quite. Whew. That was very close, but you're supposed to use that door, obviously. And the closet. The position of closets and gameplay elements don't always make the most sense, but hey, it's a video game. I really like the visual style of everything. It's very minimal, low poly stuff. It gives it a really cool look. Uh-oh. The in-game explanation is that he's a very old simulator computer, so, you know, he has a retro look to him. Alan, our AI buddy who's making this projection. It's all projected in a room. You can actually see the bits of the room at the edges of the gameplay area here. Alright, sometimes you can pick which thingy you use. The mute has basically no purpose other than speed in this level. So we're not going to use it. Ah, crap. Pfft. Sometimes Alan or Rob have little quips when you die. They're all crap. Also fairly rare, so they never get too annoying. One is actually a copy of the Otacon snake thingy. Oh no! Ah, It's not gonna work if they see you. There's really no punishment for death other than you have to do the section over again. Let's just use our sound thingy here. If it would frickin' charge, there you go. Ah, crap. That could have gone better. Let's put him over there. As you can see, the enemies can go through the electric force field thingy. We can't until we turn it off. Uh-oh. So they aren't blocked by those at all. Uh-oh. You can turn off the alarm with that computer there. I don't really have any need to, of course, so we're just gonna leave. The part times are generally very permissive. Like, it's not Doom style. Actually pretty hard to get par times. It's generally very easy, though a few of them have a par time of 5 seconds. I think that must be an oversight. So for this room, yeah, we want the mute for this one. At least this is the way I did it originally, is I use the mute. Go back around. So we need this jack hole to go the long way around. We might have been too slow. Nah, because we have to wait. Hang on. Ah, crap. Go! Just barely fast enough. They can hear you through walls, so... And they'll go to wherever they heard the sound from. So they'll actually travel quite a bit out of their way, out of their, you know, standard patrol patterns to go find wherever you whistled or whatever from. So that can be very useful. This is where we meet archers, which are basically snipers, and they have a ridiculously slow, like, watch how long it takes them to shoot. They're quite exploitable, very narrow range of vision. Honestly, they're so dumb, I can just get right past them like that. They're honestly not much of a threat at all, because they're pretty easy to fool. You just have to be aware of them and how to fool them. Uh-oh. See, that's how bad the reaction time is. I just disabled the force field while he was aiming at me. Oh, crap. And this game, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, this game does have a level creator. Easy to use because, you know, it's the Doom style of very simple levels that, you know, lend itself well to, crap, user-generated content. It's very easy to put together. See, I don't even have to care about that guy. Whatever. There are levels where those are kind of dangerous. Generally the normal guards, and maybe we'll see some of the more dangerous enemies.
Rob Locksley, son of Locksley, a trusted advisor to me, holder of high office and brave servant.
Wait, wait, how's he doing this? I thought you said the old connections were out of service.
Go away. Unfortunately, being seen also makes them reset the talking. This is a game where being seen is very often useful, actually.
And we'll sort out that buggy AI of yours the moment.
What? Go the same way? Alright, cool. Whatever. Ugh. The worst thing about being seen is that the dialogue is going to repeat, honestly. There are some levels where you basically have to have them set off an alarm or stuff like that in order to... Uh-oh. This one may actually be a problem. Oh, no he's not. As long as you can just get around somebody in an area like this, you're generally fairly safe. It plays a bit more like a puzzle game than a pure stealth game. I kind of like that. It fits really well with the tiny bites of stealth with the levels. Usually just a couple minutes long, if that.
Here's a plug into the old communication system. And we'll sort out that buggy AI of yours the moment my men arrive. I'll have my captain turn off the lights personally.
We won't stop.
You will. Sure, you're idealistic, but you'll stop. This country relies on your family's support and protection of the common man. Together with the others, they ensure strength through order, shared purpose.
Those who...
Unfortunately, the dialogue is fairly often longer than the level it's in, which is why it can continue into the next level.
are those who protect.
Yes, that's a noble role. Now, switch off that antique and come home.
No,
Don't have time for this, boy.
I do. Well, I have, Alan?
2 hours, 10 minutes, 8.
I have 2 hours. 2 hours till you work out which volume I'm in. I have a small audience, but I'm making a difference. Also, this is a cool toy. Have you seen the whole exploding triangle thing it does? Amazing.
Switch it off. There's only so much your family can do to protect you. If I
Antique blocked.
Long enough to get some more work done. Hopefully. Long enough to get some more work done.
Oh, come on.
Hopefully.
I like that the AI gets a little pissy if somebody calls him old-fashioned or whatever. Eh.
Long enough to get some more work done. Hopefully.
Also, dying does not add time to your timer, so like, as long as you don't checkpoint your mistakes, they don't really count against your par time. I don't think the par time really matters for too much. I'm not even sure it's completely recorded, but there's also a simple menu for finding online games, and there's like staff picks for the best or online user-generated levels. I haven't played too many. I've just been playing the campaign.
They're one of those. But... Yeah?
Excuse me. I think this is probably like the largest square footage an area can have. As you can see, there's some... You can have just these black tiles, like the bottom left there, that just... Hang on. Ah, crap. Went the wrong way. That don't go anywhere. There's actually a level later on, I'm not sure we'll see it. It uses it to create a really cool glitched area that you can't travel through a lot of. One of the few times where an archer is kind of annoying. But as long as we just duck, it's really not a big deal. Because we can just as long as there's something like a partial obstruction, we can just duck to get out of their line of sight for a second and reset their path. That's a really long part time. There's no way that would take 4 minutes. Ah, right. Now we learn lower walls. Enemies can't jump over these. They can shoot over them, of course. But we can use that to, like, he can't get over here. He's just gonna be like, ah, whatever. I'm too dumb to do that. Sorry. Don't actually need to go there quite yet. So the lower walls can be very useful to evade enemies, or... See, actually, he's not even gonna try to go over there because he knows he can't get over here. So their narrow field of vision is extremely useful to get past. There's some enemies with very wide field of vision too. Uh-oh. I like this. This is a neat idea because you sort of hop left and right, but it's pretty easy to cheese out anyway. Like, if you get seen, he's really easy to just ignore completely. There are, I hope we'll see them, there are these enemies called rogues that have, they see in 360 degrees. See, no big deal. And those guys are quite annoying, and you always have to find some way to distract them or whatever. Whereas archers, I'm kind of surprised archers weren't like the first enemy, because they're probably the easiest to get around. Though that may just be their placement, you know, how they're used. Oh crap, this is bad. Forgot to properly abuse that. Hide. There we are. So yeah, the game is of a decent length. The levels are short, but there's like 100 story missions, I think. Alright, I have a soundy thingy. Doesn't matter. He's an archer, so he can't really do much to stop me. He's just gonna watch as I leave. I really like the... Yeah, sometimes you hear the enemies from the last level complaining that they missed you. I guess that's a little oversight. How do we want to... Yeah, I think we need that mute. Oh, right, this one. I like this one. What you have to do, trigger an alert. Ah, well. Rude. You have to be seen, trigger an alert, and then the guards go running. So that's really neat. Oh, right. The sentries shoot really fast. We haven't seen a sentry yet. I really like that this and Monaco, I think, are the two stealth games where getting seen doesn't really trigger that, I just gotta reset reflex that I kind of have otherwise. Now we just go right down the middle. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. That's nice. Doesn't matter. There's a second mute there for some reason. We need the mute to actually be able to run past that fast enough. I like how they'll say, like, it must have been the wind and other sound-based stuff, even if... No, they say... I think I saw something when you make a sound, so the voice clips are slightly inaccurate. Alright. Here's one of those more puzzly levels. Excuse you. This way. Oh, nope. Ah, hang on. There we are. Okay. Absolutely nothing there. Down here. Those things are checkpoints. I'm not sure if I ever explicitly mentioned that, but... What's it? This is the Oud. It can be slightly difficult to tell, like, the icons for the gadgets are all minimalist and very... somewhat samey. I mostly recognize them, but, oops. It doesn't matter too much, because you usually don't get multiple gadgets in one area. That was a bit fiddly. I like the humor of the dialogue. That, whatever. He's an archer, so we'll just cheese past him. The game is a bit heavy on ease of cheesing through things, but that's just kind of how stealth can be.
This is brilliant.
What's brilliant?
Oh, Loxley.
Oh no.
Using my surname. We're just using my surname on this massively public feed now, are we?
Gisborne outed you. No doubt part of some plan to discredit.
Fair enough. So, what's brilliant?
I'm so sorry.
1,000 viewers watching right now. It turns out one of them can rap.
Oh no.
Really?
I've listened to it like 500 times in the last 10 minutes. It's fantastic. Is rap still cool nowadays? Do people still say the word rap? Pretty soon someone's dad. Play now.
Oops.
Turn up the volume. Oi, Gisborne! You're in the midst of a big storm. The witch...
Oh no, now it's gonna replay. I'm sorry, I can't skip the dialogue. You have to listen to this. Fuck. I went the wrong way. You're supposed to go to the left first. it's going to be a problem. Oh, come on. Fucking hell. The Figment is actually pretty fiddly to use because when they see something, their vision range actually extends a little bit, so you have to use it well outside of their range. Oh, fucking hell. Whatever, this is a better place to start from anyway. Fucking hell. There we go.
Whoa is right. 6,000 viewers now.
They slightly underestimated the amount of people that would watch a live stream like this, I would think. But it is interesting that I think this is the first game where I've like... Ah, crap. Actually, no. I think Unreal Tournament is the first game I've heard of where like video entertainment of like a sort of live streaming sort of thing is like actually part of the game. It's like story. Oh, for fuck's sake. I really don't like using the Figment. This level in particular, the first level where it gives you, it's pretty annoying to get past because of these guys. Because they, for fuck's sake. They turn to see where the Figment came from, which can very often lead them to you instead of the Figment. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, go! Alright, let's try it. Come on. Oh, right. Let's try it here then. It can go through a lower wall, but it can't go through a solid wall. Or like a full height wall. Ugh. It's very easy to lead them to you instead of the stupid Figment. I really prefer pretty much any other tool. Well, go get him, idiot! Seriously? What are you doing? That was awkward. I think we've seen most of the tools now. We have ironically not seen the very first tool we got, the bugle. It's just a long-range sound-makey thing. Well, go get him! These guys won't chase until they until the enemy leaves their line of sight, which can be very annoying because they have a very long line of sight.
Here we go.
Ah, I think this. Oh no, it's not. I thought this was the level where they introduced the rogues that have the 360-degree vision, but it's not. It does introduce a neat little combo of mechanics, but you can't go over these walls until the force fields behind them are, removed. The game does a pretty good job of mixing up its gameplay elements. It eventually introduces shadows, which you're completely invisible in, which that's pretty cool too. Kind of surprised they didn't show up earlier. Shadows in a stealth game usually pretty common, but it uses them as a more advanced mechanic, or at least they show up later. But when? What?
This thing's buggy.
I don't know, I'm just really not good with the Figments, and/or they're really bad. It definitely required skill to use. You can do some pretty cool stuff with Figments, though. If you leave their line of sight, then send out a Figment, you can, confuse people out of situations that aren't easily avoidable. Usually they won't fall for your tricks once you're being seen, but they will fall for a figment. Oh, god damn it. They will fall for a figment out of yellow, but not out of red, if they've already seen the real you. As awkward as that was, that did get him out of our way for a bit. Seriously, he didn't even see it? Whatever. So we're going to bring down this whole force field. It lets us get into the little tiny chamber with the monies. You know what? It doesn't even matter. Just go. Now we can leave.
Bravo, you are getting better.
Is this where we see the rogues? I don't think so. Well, that's a pretty good look into the features of Volume. There's a few more mechanics we haven't seen, and a few enemy types we haven't. But, oops. What you're supposed to do is get them from over here. As you can see, it's fairly forgiving, but, oh right, the alarms. Oopsie daisy. What we're supposed to do is that. It does some pretty cool stuff, and I really like the sort of micro-level concept I've seen a few indie games do recently. Like, Volume, the levels aren't super tiny, but for a stealth game, you know, a 4-minute level, pretty short. Generally, you want to send the Figment from an invisible position, because it's pretty easy for them to end up looking at you. Alright, we're supposed to get him to set off the alarm. But yeah, that is Volume. I hope I wasn't too terrible at it.
AI, freeze.
I didn't know he said stuff when you pause sometimes. That's neat. But yeah, that is Volume. What are your thoughts, Parker? Mew? You've been surprisingly not annoying today. That's very out of character, Parker.